Hi, I'm Archita. I'm a product designer and I built this app. A lot of you on my Instagram, if you're from there, have been asking me for a process on how I created my RecipeBook app. So I kind of have my process mapped out here. I wanted to add a custom recipe adding feature. It's something that's been requested quite a bit. So I thought I would do that and then go through step by step also the process that I went through. So I did not create a project feature document, which is what you would need to do in order to start absolutely anything. But I did collect these little scraps of paper with exactly what features I wanted and what I wanted the UI to look like. So that's still something, you need to have that. Even if it's stupid like this, then it's good. I'm trying to catch all this pollen that's in my house. From that point, I created a couple of sketches of the UI that I wanted and I mapped out the user flow in a very silly sort of way. I also allowed the AI to create like UI screens and see like what it was coming up with, because I like to take feedback from my peers, from my assistant. Anyways, so incorporating also those suggestions, I came up with a design that I liked the best. Alright, so I already have a UI style that I want to go for when the user wants to add a custom recipe. So they're gonna have their own title and then they will be able to add steps and stuff through this. But I realized I don't have a user flow UI built for what happens when the user clicks the delete button. So we're gonna build that now very quickly. This is the base design. Even though I didn't create a product feature document earlier, the first round, I did create one for this round and I accommodated all of the features from last round and future features into that document. And basically, I'm going to use that document to prompt the AI to create the features that I want today. We have all of the assets here already, like on the side. But if you're building from scratch, then you're gonna need to like export assets like the icon and stuff. I think this is basically the worst part of it. You have to sit around and wait for V0 to get it right, and until he does, you just kind of hang around and enjoy your life. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to relax until it's done, and then we're going to test and add and fix things and make sure it hasn't added random UI elements and features, which it does a lot. Okay, so this is the first response. We have kind of a UI change and I'm thinking about whether or not I might actually like it and if I would like to maybe build on this, because the current UI I have might be a little more restrictive and AI here has given what might be a better idea. I'm not sure if I want to change yet, but this is the first result and let's see. Actually, like, I know I said that it was low-key cool, but I just want you to look at this very quickly. This is so bad. This is so bad. Okay, so I actually think that at this point that I might actually completely go back to the initial version. Okay, hi, I'm recording from this incredibly odd corner because my charger is here, my phone is dying. Okay, so clearly, like, you can see that the AI adds its own thing and doesn't quite get the gist, even if you had like add links and things like that. So what I've done is I've gone back to the first version, the previous version, and I had to do this multiple times during the first development process as well, was just like I kind of go back and forth between versions and see which one is the closest to what I want, and then build on top of that. I realized that like extremely long prompts with multiple features confuses it quite a bit. So I have decided to like just go for bite-sized chunks and like go with each feature one by one in a step-by-step process, just kind of like how the user would interact with it. So let's see how it goes, and pray for me. I'm actually going to start first with the title. I want to add the title input field to the home page and make sure that the recipe parsing function no longer parses for titles, so that titles are now custom. Okay, so we have a moment of truth sort of moment. It has done the title thing, and now we're going to test it out. Ignore this recipe title. Alright, it did. It's done the job. So step 1 is complete, and we can now move on to step 2. Okay, so the app is now officially taking the recipe from the input field, the recipe title. So it's no longer auto-generated or whatever. You have to type your own title. So good luck to you. This is a very weird app. Anyways, so now that that feature is working, now all we have to do is when a custom title is typed in and no link is put into the input field, that it redirects to the page where you can add your custom recipe. So let's work on that feature now, and I will be back. Okay, so it has generated the custom page, but ta-da! Not a bad job at all, but I'm gonna try to get it to be kind of like this, like more fluid and free, rather than having these restrictive boxes. So I'm just gonna keep prompting it until I get the design that I'm looking for. This is moment of truth. I just asked it to create UI like I actually want, but we'll see. So it is almost exactly like how I like. It does have this really weird active state. I don't know if you can see. So at the moment, this is the design, okay? But we have this really weird active state. So I'm gonna try to get rid of that. And the notes is not following the same functionality for some reason. So if I cancel, what happens? Okay, fine. So this is what's happening. So at this point, I was just trying to fix the UI to make it look like the design, and adding a couple of error states and unifying components and such, because those things get a bit messed up. I don't think anybody talks about this enough, but Vibecoding is kind of boring. Especially if you're trying to get something done quickly. You end up waiting for about 50% of the time for it to generate the code. Obviously, it's way faster than a human person, but come on, dude. At this point, I just transitioned and decided to watch a movie because that's actually feasible. You don't really have much to think about and you kind of know already what you want. So you really don't need that much focus. And for most of the time, you're just waiting for things to happen. So put on a good movie and relax. Okay, cool. I think that I'm almost done and everything is working. Okay, so it's the end of the day and the feature I wanted to add has been added successfully and deployed. This is what it's looking like. I know that it seems kind of insane that we are doing this, like we can make our own stuff. When I was a kid, like I would have an idea in my head and I would try to put it down on paper, and I just didn't have the skills to do it. I feel like AI is the physical manifestation of the wish that I had then, was like if someone could read my thoughts and make it happen. And I think that's actually happening. I have very basic front-end knowledge, and using that I'm able to create like really cool interfaces, and the functionality is completely handled by AI. And yes, there are speed bumps that you will get to. In my first sprint of creating the RecipeBook app, I ran into a major issue and I needed a developer's help. I absolutely needed a developer's help. It would not have been possible without it. But I feel like for simpler things where you don't require too much back-end function, I think you will be pretty okay. You will not have issues. The AI does a really good job of making things work. I also want to give like huge credits to Miss Marissa at Mesh Times, because I've been following her for a while, and she, I think, was one of the first few creators that I saw who did Vibecode, and like just made me aware that this was not something that was restricted to developers. Anybody could do this. And when I started out, I thought it would be really difficult and that I don't have the knowledge or the skills, and clearly it's not the case. Like you don't need that many. And also watch her video on her process, because that girl is incredible. She does so much stuff. Alright, if you liked this video and it was insightful for you, please follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. If you guys like it, I might make more videos for YouTube. I don't know. It's kind of a hassle. We'll see. Alright, thank you. Bye!